Every year, all the old folks that lived round about our street used to go on a bus trip from Tommy Dawkins' pub. They used to run a Boster every week, and this swipe, yeah, here's what a Boster is. This swipe, say, and this swipe used to pay for the old folks' bus trip, and usually they used to pay enough over for buying a bag of coal at Christmas. Well, every year they went somewhere different, and every year Owd Grandad Piggott managed to get himself in trouble. But funniest thing as ever happened was one year as they went to London. Well, Owd Grandad sat on the back seat with Person Leslie Lockett and Owd Arthur Donkin and his missus. And they'd had a grand day. They'd had a good tour around London, and it was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And the bus pulled up at this little tea shop. You know, it's one of these quaint little places it was. Little finger up in there, they noticed. And as a special treat, the owner had put on cherry rouse for afters. And that's where the first upset broke out. Owd Grandad Piggott liked cherries, and I was leathering this cherry roast down him. Now, Owd Grandad was good at spitting cherry stones. I was a crack shot. And they could steer. I was spitting him 10 yards across this room, and I was landing him in a litter bin. And the only time I missed was when somebody got in the road. There was one of these old colonel-type blokes on the bus, the nose with the big handlebar moustache. I was a friend of the landlord, Tommy Dawkins, and I just leaned back and patted his belly. "Bloody gods, you," I says. Next thing, smack. A bloody cherry stone hit him straight in the ear hole. And his deaf aid went off like a burglar alarm. Hast ever heard of deaf aid when you upset the mechanism? Beep! It was going, and I was tearing at his ear hole. I didn't know what took out first, the hearing aid or the cherry stone. I threw this hearing aid on the table and I stormed across. I says, "I'll cut your bloody whiskers off." Owd Grandad Piggott got up, took his teeth out. I says, "Try it." Well, next minute, Bill Henshaw was between them. "Sit down, pair on you." "He smashed my bloody hearing aid." Owd Grandad says he should have got the bloody daft yed in the road then, sure. Any road, they went to Kew Gardens for an hour after that. Then on the road back, driver took him to this social club. When the old folks got back on the bus at 10:30, Owd Grandad Piggott was drunk. And I flopped down on the back seat like an old sack of spuds. Next minute I was snoring. Sounds as if somebody got a pneumatic drill up the corner, they noticed. Well, just outside London, before the bus got onto them one, driver stopped at these toilets for let everybody go, does say. And everybody went, apart from Owd Grandad Piggott. Pierce Lockett woke him up. I says, "'Swan't good toilet for you, there?" Well, Owd Grandad grunted, swore, adjusted his cargo rail, banged his head on the window, swore again and went back sleep. So Pierce says to hell with him. Well, the bus was doing 60 up middle lane of them one when Owd Grandad woke up. "Where are we?" "You tell that driver stop a minute, I'm busting." Pierce Lockett says, "Why can't I stop? We're on motorway." And just then, buzz past a sign and said, "Service is 25 mile." Pierce says, "They's got no chance for you. They used to go when everybody else went." Owd Grandad says, "Driver, stop this buzz." But the driver apparently was deaf. So Owd Grandad went up to him. I wobbled down the coach, bumping into folks. I says, "That deaf or daft? Stop this buzz, what? I'm busting." Driver says, "They daft bust till we get Stafford." I says, "Now go sit down." Owd Grandad tried a different tack. I says, "Listen, Ark, I've got this condition." I says, and doctor says, as if I done a go lavatory regular like, I'll die. I says, and they was like have a jed man on the hands, was. Well, driver coded him a few names, and I said I'd come off motorway at next exit. So Owd Grandad says, "Well, give it some welly then, I can't last much longer." Well, nobody knew where they won, not even the driver. Well, I come off motorway, I went round a roundabout, through a village, and out into open country. And I pulled up by a brick wall was running alongside of the road. Driver says he's got 8 minutes now, skedaddle. So Owd Grandad was off the bus almost before it had stopped. And I made a beeline for this woe, and I climbed over it. As I dropped down on t'other side, I expected to find solid earth. Instead of that, all I found was fresh air. There was a wild yell, sparks off his fag, and a bloody great faraway splash. Well, everybody sat there dumbstruck. Bill Henschel says, what the bloody hell's I gone and done? One of the old women on the bus says, say that blue board there, don't it see British waterways on it? Well, gradually it dawned on him what had happened. The driver had stopped his coach smack on top of the Canal bridge. And Owd Grandad Piggott had fun tight the hard way. Well, Bill Henschel was off buzz like a shot. I says, bring a light quick. Well, there was horrible gurgling noises coming from down below. And Owd Bill, I could just make Canal out. And Owd Grandad Piggott was bobbing around in the middle on it like a great black cork. And 8 or so way trains were going like hell in the weed beds, the house. When they got him on the coach, I set into that driver. Well, there was waiter running out for his ear holes, out for his neck. I says, you bloody puddle-headed scatterbrain, bloody cork-headed omagone, I says, I'm going to have they for this. And poor old driver didn't know what to do. Well, his fault. I'd been lucky, Owd Grandad Piggott had. I'd been very lucky. If I hadn't landed in the waiter, I'd have been killed. There was no society. It was 40 foot down to that canal. Well, they got him on the backside of the bus and undressed him, and somebody lent a shirt, somebody else an overcoat, and they stuffed his clothes underneath it. Now, personal freshness was never Owd Grandad's strong point. And his trousers mixed with a bit of canal mud in a freak when that heater got going on them. Well, by the time they got one, they were more or less dry. I smelt a bit rank for the next 2 or 3 weeks, Owd Grandad did. And when nobody had stand with him by the bar at the pub, I decided it was time to have a bath. Then I couldn't have turned the bloody taps on, because it was that long since it'd been used. Marley, that's another story.